Thank you. So the club, once again, is working on disability, human rights issues across the world. The committee is working on Rotary itself and trying to make Rotary more disability friendly. So that's the difference in the two groups. So this is a club meeting. We have several things we're going to cover today. One, we're going to talk about the World Kindness Day, which is coming up. And we are a member. We became a member we being the district became a member back in May or June of this year. And we're a member of the World Kindness Movement, and we're going to learn about Kindness Day and what we can do on that particular day, which is November 13th. We're also going to be hearing about an activity that's going on in Kenya, which we'll talk about that. It's an awareness. We're going to bring awareness to the districts in Kenya, Rotary districts, about the issues and the challenges of people with disabilities and human rights issues in particular. It's going to be for the district, so it's going to cover several different countries, and we can talk about that in a minute. It's something we're hoping that if it goes on successful, that we can mirror it in other districts also around the world. So it's a start, and I'll talk about that when it happens. And then a few other things on some club activities and club information that we'll share. But I'm going to turn this over to our World Kindness expert, Namala. I'm going to turn it over to you, and she's going to talk about World Kindness Day, which is coming up. And if you could talk a little bit once again about the organization, so everybody knows about that. And I'm going to mute myself, Namala, and it's all yours.
Hello, everybody, and I am so excited to be here today. I thank you, Ken, for inviting me and introducing me to this awesome group. The purpose for which you stand for is so important, and I was delighted when you all joined the World Kindness Movement. So a little brief about the World Kindness Movement. It's a voluntary group of member nations from across the world, people who believe in kindness, who have kindness as part of their agenda, and who believe in serving and doing whatever they do with kindness at the heart of their mission. So with that, in 1997, a Japanese doctor got together a bunch of people, and they initially happened to be educators, because it was educators who got very excited about the cause, because as you know, everybody is hoping that we have a kinder world, and it starts with our children. So in 98 was the first year that this group of people who founded the World Kindness Movement celebrated and created a day which was on November 13th called World Kindness Day. And we right now wanting to make this day bigger, and in the sense of having more people want to be kinder. So when I say bigger, it is just to put the word kind on the agenda of individuals, families, schools, corporates, organizations, and ultimately, hopefully, nations. And this year, we've been working with UNESCO. UNESCO Mahatma Gandhi Institute, and we are hoping to have an international day dedicated to kindness. So we're just hoping that there's a spotlight and that kindness matters, and kindness is the core of everything we do. So having said that, and of course we have a Facebook page, and we have an Instagram, a LinkedIn, where you've just got to type the World Kindness Movement, and you'll be able to read a little more about us. The beautiful page is run by youth volunteers from across the world, and it's always exciting seeing how people serve and give of their gifts. As I say, if we give a little bit of time or resources, it doesn't have to be money always, but every little gift matters and it can matter to a great cause. And so I'm happy to introduce the World Kindness Movement to each of you, and looking forward to your collaboration and cooperation and doing your little bit on that day to highlight the importance of kindness. Having said that, I have a very brief PDF for you, which Ken would help me present, so that I run through the slides and then keep it open for any question answers. So Ken, would you put that up on the screen?
I will give it a try. Like I said, this is not my strength, but let me give it a try. Okay, and share.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Now I don't know how to move it, but I can do that.
Okay.
Oh, I can move it. Okay,
So,
good. Okay.
right. So if we go to the slide 2, which is the next one, Ken.
Okay.
What we are planning to do is request people of the world to switch off their screen time. So if it's a television, if you're on the internet, if you're on the phone, we've all had an excess of the digital world because of the pandemic. And once we switch off to really connect to the real world, connect with a friend, connect with your community, connect as an organization, and be kind first to ourselves, because I can't be kind to someone else unless I take care of myself, and then to others and the environment and the community. So, World Kindness Hour, and we initially started thinking that we'll dedicate a fixed hour, but the more and more we spoke about it, we thought let's keep this flexible and let people just take off 1 hour. This time it's a Saturday, and then share with us what they're going to do. So I'd move to the next slide. I've got some examples for you. Very, very simple, doable examples. So, have a family meal, talking, sharing stories, include your friends or neighbors if you're not under lockdown, and go to a park, play with people who you don't talk to normally, talk to a stranger. If there's any of the institutions are open, and by visiting them, if you can cheer them up or go to a neighbor, bake a cake, whatever. It's a simple thing, but it matters because each of us definitely remember a time where someone has been kind to us, and when we've been kind to someone. And for me, it's always observing kindness that gets me very excited, because when I observe kindness too, it's the faith that this matters. It's the faith that it's the small things that matter. So we've all been receivers, we've all been givers, and we've all been observers of kindness. So this is the no screen time hour. It will be hashtag the World Kindness Hour. And if each of you could share that hashtag, share what you're doing, we can hope to have this campaign that's bigger than last year. Can we move to the next slide, please? So how do you participate? So we're going to have a page which will be called, the World Kindness Hour page on Facebook. I'll share that link with Ken, and he would definitely share it with all of you. And each of us take a pledge that we are going to do something kind this year, as a group, as a community, as individuals, whatever is easy and doable. And we will share and tell our friends about it, so that we'll spread the kindemic, and we'll have more and more kind people coming together and saying it's cool to be kind. I think the world needs more of kindness. And after we take a pledge, we share what we've done. And so we inspire one another that kindness is simple, and we learn from other people's kindness, as Ken mentioned at the start. It doesn't take much, and some people find such creative ways to be kind.
So somebody cannot call you and you rush immediately.
We can
What
also
are you?
then,
Hold on just a second. If anybody can just mute except for the speaker, that would be great, please.
We are going to leave them then. Go to the corner,
Okay.
Someone cannot call you once and you stand up and go.
Sorry, I lost it.
The shoe is in the canvas.
I'm sorry, I lost it. I've got to stop sharing screen at the moment
No worries.
to see what's going on here.
No, it was the second last slide, Ken, and that's fine. So
Okay.
basically, it's to just tell you that Ken would share the Facebook group page with you. We'll have all ideas and links on that page. So when you see that page, you will immediately know that these are some examples. If you're a group signing up, a school, a college, an organization, or an individual, you take a pledge that I'm going to spend 1 hour not looking at my computer, not looking at my digital device. I'm going to go to the real world and possibly even brighten up somebody's life, or I'll talk about it a little more. I'll share with your friends. And so that's the purpose of bringing kindness on the agenda. And if you have any questions about the movement or about, why we are doing this or anything, any doubt, I'd be happy to take questions.
Anybody have any questions on something they could do for kindness, maybe on November 13th? I know we can do kindness for another person. We could do kindness for ourselves. We could do kindness for an animal if we wanted to, right? Any act of kindness that we feel that we could do during that hour, it would be great. I know it's going to be hard to turn those electronic devices off for an hour, but I'm going to try it and see if I can do it.
Thank you.
Any questions? And once again, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to ask, this is Jeremy Warner in Indianapolis. Is there anything that we can, and I'm sorry, I joined a little bit late. Is there anything that we can post on our social media or whatnot to help promote this that you could send out to us?
Absolutely, and that would be great because the more that people know that kindness is being celebrated. So one thing is we'd have all the media on the World Kindness page, and you can freely share because it's a public page. But if there's anything specific, I'll also send it out to Ken that he can share with all of you in terms of a creative or a post, or we've put out our first little video on LinkedIn and Facebook. So please share. I think sharing would be the kindest thing to let people know there's actually a movement which is going to celebrate 25 years of existence next year that really believes that kindness matters. And, so UNESCO also has said that without kindness, we won't have the 17 SDG goals completed. Because we need compassionate leaders. So your sharing would be, very kind, and I will definitely encourage you to like the page, the World Kindness Movement, and share from there. And also then join the page that we are going to start only for this day. And the third thing is I will send Ken any creative that he can directly send you so that you can post as well.
And you have a website where people have posted stories of kindness. Tell me how many stories you have on there.
So we crossed 1 million stories last month, and we just started in March, and I was very, very skeptical when I started, but it's been 1 million stories. And you'd be happy to know that today I received 175 stories from the Rotary Club of Mumbai.
Oh.
So yeah, so people are still sending it in. We are hoping to reach 1.5 million. But some of the stories are very, very, very simple, but very heartwarming. And it just shows that people want kindness and people believe in kindness, and we need to talk about it. And it's not a soft thing, and it's not about flowers and teddy bears. It's the hard things. And it's very courageous to be kind. It's not easy to be kind. It takes a lot of courage to step out and be kind. So, yeah, more all of you joining is what I'm here for, to invite you to this celebration of kindness as a value, as a behavior, as a trait, as something that we must encourage and talk more about.
I have a question.
Yes, Diana.
How can we send you stories? Do we send the stories to a certain email address, or we send the stories to the website?
You send it to the website, so I have a link, and I
Would
can,
you would you please put that in the chat box?
I will do that.
Thank you.
I will do that.
Stephen, you have a question? Or is your hand
Yes,
just up?
yes, I have a question. Thank you. My name is Stephen. My question is, actually, I have two questions. One is, you said that at least we use an hour to switch off our gadgets. Do you have a specific time for that purpose or for that hour? Like, which time specifically, just to be specific, or is it a random hour from the country that you're coming from? And the second question is, do you put on a certain material of a certain color that, or you just just to create awareness? Are you supposed to maybe to put on a certain a certain color of a material, or maybe t-shirts or some? I hope you understand me. That's what I'm trying to indicate. Thank you.
Yeah. So thank you for asking. I think we just want, because we come from different time zones, we just want everyone to select an hour that's most convenient to them. Because as the day gets bigger and bigger, and let's say it's a Monday, we're hoping people at work can take an hour off, and that there's some flexibility in the time in which they can switch off devices. And that's the reason for this year we've said let's experiment with an open hour. And hoping that for 24 hours of that day, there's some kindness happening in some part of the world. It's like when it's morning in a particular country, it's night somewhere else, right? So we haven't selected a particular hour. And about the clothes or anything, we haven't said that either, because some people might find that difficult. So we're just trying to make it very, very simple, that people do something, something small, something big, as an organization, as an individual, but share it, put the hashtag and encourage their friends, so that it kind of becomes like a good virus, where everybody is talking about kindness, and everybody is motivated to continue doing that. And so that's the intention, to keep it very simple, but to spread the word that there is a day to celebrate kindness. So the World Kindness Movement has a Facebook page that's active, and an Instagram and a LinkedIn page that's active. It's theworldkindnessmovement.org.
And I know when we first started looking at the World Kindness Movement, it made a lot of sense, particularly with the advocacy of disabilities around the world, of all the advocates that are stepping up, and actually many acts of kindness that are going on many ways. We already have quite a few stories. We probably should post them on your website about things that advocates are doing for people with disabilities. But it's not just the advocates, also it works anybody, whether you have a disability or not, obviously can be an act of kindness. And it also fits very well into Rotary's motto of service above self. And so it fits very well into the whole Rotary philosophy of kindness, because Rotarians are doing acts of kindness around the world, everywhere, and that's part of who we are as Rotarians. We do that, so it all makes sense that we're partners on this whole thing. So, and we're still working on Rotary International to try to get them involved in it too.
Sure, thank you. That would be huge, because kindness is just a small stepping stone to peace, and Rotary has always stood for world peace. So I'm delighted. I was very, very excited when you joined, and I'm looking forward to more Rotary clubs supporting us, and just helping put this on the agenda of the world. A lot of schools in India, I've got 100 schools who are signing up for a carnival. So they're all going to, speak about what they do in their school system for kindness. So we're going to do that on November 13th. Yeah.
Okay, great. And so Elliot too would like to work on some ways of getting the word out to the district, since the district is a member of this organization, of this day, and things to do. So I like it because it's very, in the sense that the World Kindness Day and your idea of coming up with an hour of kindness is good, because people can do when they want to do it and how they want to do it. We're not telling them anything about how to do it. We're just kind of saying, do it your own way. And that's all we're asking of you, that's all. So if there are no other questions, Nirmala, I appreciate your coming and talking about it. And we'll get more things from you and out to the group and to the world about what we're doing. Thank you. Now I'd like to turn over to Samu, sorry. She and I and the Rotary Club of Karen in Kenya and our club, in a sense, have been working on putting together an awareness event in Kenya. I'm going to let her talk about it, but it's an awareness event that's basically, we're hoping to bring more awareness to her district. She's a Rotarian. And she also can talk about an unbelievable activity that she does for people with disabilities in Kenya. And also bring awareness to people, the Rotarians and non-Rotarians in Kenya, on the disability challenges in that country. So I'm going to turn it over to you. I'm going to mute myself again, and you can kind of tell us all about what you're doing, Samu.
Thank you, Ken. Good evening, family and friends of Rotary. Sorry, I can't turn on my video. We have a blackout here at home. But I'm happy to join you. It's 7:30 p.m. in Nairobi. My club is Rotary Club of Hurlingham, Nairobi, Kenya, District 9212. I currently serve as the District Sunshine Rally Chair. This is a special program we have in our district that is totally targeted to learners with disability. So what happened, how this came about, it's kind of a long story, but I'll make it as short as possible. In 1979, Manu Chandaria Foundation, who is also a Rotarian from the Rotary Club of Nairobi, Kenya, one of the oldest Rotarians we have in the district, they put together an activity, brought about 800 children with disabilities at a park in Nairobi, fed them, entertained them, and gave them just a fun day. And then they went back home. So he did this in memory of his brother who had a hearing disability before he passed on. So this went on for another year. Then in 1980, as a way of supporting the UN International Year for the Handicapped, and to commemorate Rotary's 75th anniversary, other clubs within Nairobi got together and organized this event as Rotary and took it away from his family foundation, the one they call Manu Chandaria Foundation. And thereafter, it became a yearly activity. So every year the number has gone up. In like the following, by 1981, they had 1,200 children, etc. I joined this committee maybe like 7 years ago. By the time I joined, we were bringing together about 2,500 kids together in one day from different parts of the country that were within the city of Nairobi. And the last one that we had in 2019, because we didn't do the one for 2020 because of COVID, but the last one we had about almost 6,000 children in one location. So it's an event that we start planning early, like it takes about 4 to 6 months planning. But we bring in these kids together, we have fun with them, we entertain them. But the idea behind doing all this is just to create awareness to everybody around us that we call them special needs children, but at the end of the day, we just want to break that social barrier that people have towards children and people with disability, and then allow everyone to have a wholesome approach and inclusion of people with disability in terms of how they relate with them, the structures that we have in place, you know, even just being extra careful when dealing with them, you know, and just creating this kind of awareness. So over the years, we've worked together even with some different groups within government just to create this awareness. So there's usually a lot of publicity 1 month before the event and even after the event. We've gotten a lot of support over the years and it's grown bigger. So what we've done, we've devolved it into now other parts of the country. So this is what's happening right now. We didn't do it in 2020, obviously, because of the COVID-19 pandemic. 2021, we haven't done it because we normally do it every February or March of the year. So we've not done it, but what we are doing currently is we are doing a needs assessment survey to the different schools and homes that host children with disabilities, and just to find out, especially the public ones, just to find out what are their immediate short-term needs and then now their long-term needs. And then we want to bring all this information together. Assessment is currently ongoing over 150 schools. Bring all this together and then see how we as Rotary can support both short-term and long-term, looking into doing a global grant for them and things like that. So that's what is happening right now. I met Ken through another Rotarian from another Rotary club within Nairobi called Rotary Club of Karen. And so we've been having this discussion and we thought, why not have a webinar just to create an awareness on people with disabilities. And what we'll be discussing mainly is diversity, equity, and inclusion. So that's happening on November 15th from 6:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. East African time. It's open to Rotarians and non-Rotarians. Ken will share the flyer. Of course, it's between our district and your club. But I want to commend you guys for starting a course-based club. This is a very unique club. It's a niche club. And I would be interested in being a member. And I know nowadays as Rotary, we are allowed to be members of more than one club. So I'd be interested in knowing more about what you guys are doing and how we can all work together and just create more awareness on people with disabilities, as well as push the agenda forward in different capacities. I know we all come from different parts of the world, but there's always something we can do. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now, did you say November 15th or November 5th is the actual date of the event, right?
November 5th.
Right, November 5th, right. And it will be at 6:30 Kenya time, which you guys we got to figure that out. Everybody has to figure that out their own time, but we'll be sending out more information on that. But it's significant in the standpoint that I think awareness has been one of our things we want to work on. And so this is an opportunity to really bring awareness to the Rotaries in that area. We have some outstanding speakers on the panel, including Valerie Waive, and those of you who remember Mark's still a member of this group. She is the wife of Mark, but she is also the vice president of Rotary International. So she's almost as high as you can get as far as Rotary is concerned. And she's also the chairman of the DEI committee in Rotary. So plus the fact we're going to have the chairman of the National Council of People with Disabilities in Kenya, who's the governmental official oversees disability matters in Kenya. So the fact that we also have a prominent person from Kenya Rotary on the committee, who's also on the DEI committee, and the other person, Sayum, is a medical person in Kenya, correct?
Yeah, he's in charge of the rehabilitation unit in one of the counties, Nairobi County in Kenya. And then now you have the chairman of NCPWD, of course, Peter.
Right. And it's going to be monitored by a local TV producer at the site. So we're looking forward to bringing the message to Rotarians in the district, which includes Ethiopia and what is another country, Salem?
South Sudan. Kenya,
Right.
Ethiopia, South Sudan.
Right. It's not only a good thing what we're doing in this area, and we're looking forward to increasing awareness there and hopefully get Rotarians more involved in disability issues in the area, at least to be aware of some of the disability issues. But also, you know, we've been talking about maybe this is just a start in this district, but maybe we can talk about doing it in other districts also. So it fits right into our whole idea of increasing awareness, particularly in Rotary, of people with disabilities. So we'll see how it goes. We're kind of excited about it. Does anybody have any questions for Sam? And her other activity, I mean, maybe I'm naive, but I have never heard of a disability activity that goes on where 10,000 people with disabilities show up. So it's commendable for what you guys are doing there. So I appreciate it.
Thank you.
And I know it's already worked because Lorraine, she's the incoming president of the Rotary Club of Karen, has said, you know, I'm now becoming more aware of disability issues in Kenya in particular, and I want to make it part of my presidency. So it's already had some success there. So thank you. I appreciate it. We're looking forward to it, and you'll be getting more information on it. Steve is back. You're here, Steve? Maybe he's not. Steve, are you there? Okay. Steve is our marketing person on the group, and he's been working with us on a marketing plan, particularly when we were a committee, and it kind of stopped for a little bit when we formed the club. But we want to get back to it. It's an extremely important document to form a marketing plan and to form a business plan to go along with it. The marketing plan has been worked on and it's in a draft form. It still needs some work to be done on it. We're going to have a meeting in a couple of weeks. Oh my God, a couple of weeks to get back to working on that marketing plan. If anybody is interested in seeing it, I will post it I have posted it on a Google Docs, so I'd be glad to share it with you if you wanted to see it. And we'll be sending out information on when that meeting will be, because I think that's going to be it's not only a marketing plan for this year, but it's a marketing plan for the next 3 years. So it will be an extremely important document for us to move forward with and have that available to us. Also, as I mentioned before, we've worked on filing for the Articles of Organization, which is in the state of Massachusetts, because that's where we are centered in the state of Massachusetts. That district is in the state of Massachusetts, to make us an official nonprofit so that we can set up a business account. So hopefully that's going to happen very soon. So once we have a business account, there have been a number of people that have mentioned that they'd like to join and be members of this group. We have two different categories of members. One is an active member, and those are right now the charter people, 20 of people. And then there are honorary members, which in this case so far has been pretty much Rotarians. But we can now, go ahead. Once we set that up, we can now move forward and start bringing in new members. The district has agreed to waive the district fees for the new members for the first year. And so fees will have to pay Rotary Due Fees. So if you know anybody who's interested, please talk to them about joining this club. The fees would, fees would be there for $87 a year. Diana, if I'm right on this, $87 a year, which is paid every 6 months. So it's half that every 6 months. And then Diana, is there a $15 admin fee? That goes on top of that too? Diana, you're muted. There you go. Go ahead. She's got a bad cold, so.
Yeah, the district dues are $25 per half year, per 6 months. Those are the district dues, and the Rotary International dues are $87, and we pay them by 6 months again. That's correct. I'm sorry. I'm just.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. I won't make it talk too much. But we're waiving for the first year, anyways, until July 1. We're waiving the district fees. So therefore, it would be, and also if somebody wanted to join right now, we're going to prorate it. So actually, to join at this moment, it would be about $30 to join. And then come January 1, there would be another bill of whatever it is, 40 something dollars on top of that. So if you know anybody who's interested, we still have to work out, since we're an international group, we still have to work out the details as far as how we collect those dues internationally, but it's doable. And we're basically going to look for a bank that's international, and that's how we're going to kind of work on that thing. So I urge anybody you know that might be interested in joining this group, become an actual member. We have friends of the group which are supporting us, but actual members get to vote and get involved, are Rotarians, and then can take advantage of all the Rotarian services and education that's out there. So also, Diana, are you around somewhere? There you are. Or maybe Ali, you can answer this question. The bylaws, are they a public document?
I didn't hear it. I'm sorry, Ken.
Maybe Ali can answer, Diana, because I don't want to talk too much. Are the bylaws a public document? Are the bylaws a public document?
What do you mean by that?
Bylaws of the club. In other words, can anybody see those bylaws, or is that something that only club members are access to?
I mean, that's really up to you. There's no reason to share them beyond the club, but nothing that says you have to publicly post them.
Okay, well, something probably for the board of directors to make that decision then.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so anyway, we have bylaws. Any club.
Can I say something?
Sure.
The district bylaws, they're public information. So it's up to the club, and I agree with Elliot. If you want to post them on your club website, it's up to you, but it's not necessary. The only thing that's necessary is to make all your members, the board and the members of the club, aware of what the bylaws are. And, if you want to discuss them, or if there are some questions, this is within the club.
Okay. Sounds good. Well, thank you. So we'll discuss that as a board of directors as far as what we want to do with it. The other things that we're looking at this point, we're a club that's only been in existence now for 4 or 5 months. Lost track of the time. And so other things that we're looking for at this point, we're going to be working on a para we're looking at a parasports webinar to try to educate the world on parasports activities that are around in the world. And there are many that the Paralympics is the one that really gets the most attention, but there's parasports going on every day. So we're going to be looking at the possibility of doing a webinar. We'll be discussing that with the club later on a parasports webinar that we could do. We've also talked about the fact of doing an advocacy webinar. We have a number of outstanding advocates. Some of them are in the room today. That we would like to try to encourage people to become advocates for disability rights issues in their own area. So we wanted to start with a webinar to basically give some people some general ideas on how to become advocates. I don't know, Grace, are you still here? One of the things we talked about, Grace, in your country is the fact of getting people involved in the elections. Is that correct, Grace? Are you there?
Hello, Janelle. What a surprise. You invited me over to study. Yes, I did.
So,
sit down, make yourself comfortable.
Okay. So that's one of the things we wanted to do, is try to get people encouraged and potentially down the road of doing a series of workshops on how to become an advocate leader. And I think there's a need for advocate leaders that we could help encourage for disability rights, not only around the world, but we can talk about maybe being advocate leaders in Rotary also. I mean, I was just talking to, for example, somebody who said that their group is meeting, and the person who has disabilities, the group is meeting. The group is meeting in person. They do not have hybrid. They do not wear masks. So from a disability standpoint, there's a concern there, and that's not. And so that kind of thing can be brought to the attention of clubs on a club by club basis on that. And we're also talking about getting more involved, and I don't know if you saw it before, but the wheelchair dancing in Brazil, which is a good activity and not very expensive, and so we're looking at that. We're taking the process slow, as far as because we're only been around for 4 months, and we need to work on structure first before we actually take on some projects. Once again, this group is not necessarily a manager of projects. The way we were set up is not to manage projects, but to coordinate projects. The difference is that if we hear of a need for a particular disability need in a particular country or a particular area, we can coordinate. We will sit down with that group and see what the needs are, kind of define them, and see if we can find the right resources to try to help make that need possible. It would be to work with the local Rotaries first to get them involved in it, and then to see where there is a need for resources to do that. And it could be in setting up, which is a community corp or a Rotaract group in that area to work on disabilities, or it could be to actually work on possibility of applying for an international grant. We will not apply for those grants. We will talk to the Rotaries and try to encourage them to apply for the grant, and then work and try if they need international, or they need NGOs, or they need corporate support on it. We'll be the one that's going to coordinate that. It's important distinction to understand that this is the role of this club. We may never actually work hands-on on a project, but we'll always be working on other activities. A good example is the one that I was just talking about when we first started this meeting, of things that we can do. We may find that there's somebody in India, in this case, who has expertise on prosthetic legs. There happens to be a person in Kenya who is in need of a prosthetic leg at this point. So we could coordinate between that group in India and the group in Kenya to try to get this person a prosthetic leg. That's what I'm talking about as far as coordination is concerned. And also we've been working once again with the Rotary Club of Kenya to try to help this girl, 14 years old, who has basically been isolated from the world and has cerebral palsy. And what they found her in diapers and unable to talk because the mother, in this particular case, wanted to keep this person isolated from the world. So I've been kind of working with the Rotary Club of Kenya to try to put her in touch with advocates that will help her. And at this point, we've gotten her a wheelchair. And we're working then on what else we can do as far as getting her schooling and stuff like that. So that's a kind of, I'm giving those examples of things that this club can do as a coordinator. Are there any questions on that?
Ken, not a question, but just a comment in regards to the coordination. I think one of the key things of that is us really communicating about what those opportunities are, because your example of somebody needing a prosthesis or a prosthetic, I certainly know several prosthetists in Indianapolis who regularly will do international service projects where they will go with a group of people, not just to work with one amputee, but multiple amputees in a country that struggles to get prosthetics there. So those are certainly the kinds of things I think we should be able to help, as you say, coordinate to make perhaps even enhance the service that organizations that aren't connected with us would like to be able to do. So.
Excellent, Jeremy. I appreciate that. And I may be in touch with you on this particular case. So I encourage anyone who has something like that. We still, as a club, are still forming on exactly what kind of projects we're going to want to work on. But certainly we may be able to coordinate something. And I encourage club members to, when they see something, or a club and non-club members, when they see something, to bring it to our attention, and we can discuss it as a club and see if we want to get involved, how we can get involved if we can. We obviously can't take on everything, and we won't be able to take on everything, but there will be some things that we can do. In most cases at this point, they're smaller projects, but eventually we can venture on into other projects, because there are opportunities through Rotary to do many things on many projects. So so I encourage anybody who's to be in touch with us on that kind of stuff. And at very least, I mean, I heard this morning from a gentleman from India who's a tennis player. He has a disability and he's a tennis player, and he wanted us to fund his the money for his tournaments, but we're not in a position to do that. So I said to him basically that I'd be glad to put you in touch with some local Rotaries that maybe you can talk to see if they'd be willing to do that. So that's the kind of thing where we're still new, we're still learning, we're still moving forward, but we're certainly still open very much to listening to all the challenges that are out there at this point. Is there any other?
Can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead, Diane.
In fact, yesterday, the 17th of the month, was your club's 4-month anniversary. So you're still very young. That's all I want to remind you. And it takes time. And I want to commend you all that you've actually done so much in the first 4 months of your, start.
Great, thank you, Diana. Sanjeev, have you a comment to make?
Then we're going to shower.
Yeah, with respect to the guy who wants the to have help on his tennis, I believe you are speaking about somebody in Bombay.
It could be, yes.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
runs a-
So if it is Bombay, then I would know somebody who could be of great help. Yeah.
Okay, great. I'll be in touch with you. Thank you on that. And Sanjeev, do you want to mention the mentor program? It's not disability related, but is there something you've been working on?
So that's only a work in progress. So we'll pause it, let that go ahead a bit, and then I'll of course rope in the members of this club. Mhm.
Okay, sounds good. I appreciate it. So anybody else have any comments? Once again, if you could just, as you talk to people, and mention that we're open to at least listening or try to help. I think the critical part of what we're doing right now in our early stages of this is networking. And if we can all network and pass on to each other information about people that are maybe experts in different fields or have strengths in different fields, we need to build a good network. And the stronger network we can build, the better coordinators we're going to be, because we can put people in touch with people around the world on different subjects. And as long as we have the connections to do that. So, and once again, building the club is going to be a way of doing that. We have over 306, I think Ralph, the number is something like that, 306 associates that are connected with us. Our club itself is about 30 members, but our associates are extremely important. Our advisors, or whatever we want to call them, are extremely important to us because they're going to put us in touch with not only people who have the right expertise, but also who have maybe have somebody who has that kind of a need. If I had never run into the president of Karen, I would have never known about this 14-year-old girl, and I would never have been able to put her in touch with the right people to try to get this thing moving forward. That's the way this whole club is basically geared towards working, is helping each other in any way we can do that through connections. Anybody else have any other things to say at this point? Okay, well, I appreciate you all coming. You'll hear more information on the Kindness Day. You'll hear more information on this webinar that's happening in the Kenya district. Our next committee meeting is November 1. And we have a club meeting then again on November 15th. And we'll be sending out information on all that. Okay, great. Thank you. The hour is up and I did a good job keeping this to an hour this time. All right, take care. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye, Tom.
Thank you, Ken, and everybody.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Thank you.
Bye, thanks.
Okay, Ron, we'll be in touch.
Alrighty.
All right, go Sox.
Really? Enjoy.
Okay, good. Doctor, can we talk at some point? Dr. Fahara?
Yes, yes, Ken. Good morning.
Good morning. It's actually afternoon here, so we're all set.
It's 11 p.m. in our place.
I gotta go to bed.
Yes, I will talk to you. When do you want to talk, Ken?
We can do it. Can you do it this week sometime? Can we meet this week? I'm actually going back to the United States tomorrow. So I could reach out to you once probably by Wednesday, I'll reach out to you and see if we can set up a discussion.
Yes, okay. We can do that.
Okay,
and I
good.
can contact you over the WhatsApp and then we can fix it up.
Okay. All right.
Ken, please, may I ask through you to Mr. Jeremy? He was telling about this process it takes and all that. We have this CRP in Dhaka, in Bangladesh. who does this prosthetics, but those are not highly mechanized or very advanced. We have these wheelchairs and artificial legs and arms, but like that. So can he just enlighten? Can he do that in your time through you? Like
Yeah,
here,
yeah, no, definitely.
can we hear
This,
something from him?
yeah,
And I want to just put in one word. You can call Mr. Budilzaman Bodhi. You know, you can say Bodhi. We can call him. I think he will not mind if you call him Bodhi. Bodhi. You said
okay,
you did not know how to call him, so you can call him Mr. Bodhi.
okay, sounds good. Because this particular person we're trying to help in Kenya is a Rotaract person. He lost his leg to cancer, and he needs a new leg. So that's what we're trying to help out with. Yeah, if you can help out on that point, get me in touch with somebody, that would be outstanding.
I'll post you a picture in your group, the things that we do in Bangladesh. So if we can have an advanced form or some new technology, then that would be very helpful for our whole country, because that is the
Okay,
modern
good.
legs we give
All right,
prosthetics like we provide.
Let's talk about it. And you'll hear from me on Wednesday. Is that okay?
Yes, that's fine with me. What time would you like to talk?
I would probably be in your evening around 7 o'clock. How's that?
Yes, that would be very nice. Thank you.
Okay, I'm putting you down on my calendar. I'll send you a text shortly. I'll send you a text when I arrive on Wednesday, and we'll confirm it. But 7 p.m. on Wednesday evening. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. I appreciate it.